Welcome to this week's episode of TUF Coffee Shop Talk. I'm your host, Rhonda Lavoie, and this is another installment of TUF Unfiltered. In these episodes, I share raw, unfiltered stories, real-life experiences, and lessons that I hope will help you get a leg up and propel you forward. Learn from my mistakes and the things I've learned. But first, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way, it will be easy for you to find me each week, so you never miss an episode. And if you like what you hear, I'd love it if you clicked that 5th star and gave us a rating. Not only does it make me feel amazing when you do, it helps others find my podcast so I can start helping more people. Thank you. And now let's dive right in. Let's get to this week's episode. So in this episode of TUF Unfiltered, I wanted to talk about what they don't tell you when you're picking a brokerage. You see, here in Saskatchewan, this is kind of a heavy topic right now because we have a new brokerage that's opening here called Real Broker. And it's similar to eXp Realty in the sense that it's a cloud brokerage. So it doesn't have the brick and mortar locations like a Remax or Royal LePage, Century 21, Coldwell would have. And they've opened in different provinces in Canada already, but there hasn't been one here in Saskatchewan because they've had to find a broker to be able to broker the transactions. They secured one of those earlier this year and are planning to open, I understand, this summer. So there's lots of conversations happening within agents about that this broker's coming, this brokerage is coming, and you know that there's different people approaching agents to bring them over. In a Real and an eXp broker model, it's common for agents to try and bring other agents over because there's incentives for you to do so. The reason it's different than like a Remax and Century 21, Royal LePage, etc., is because at those brick and mortar style companies, the broker is the one who brings on agents and manages them and receives the incentive for them coming over. But on Real and eXp, it's different. The agents that bring them on will have some incentive financial gain for them to join the company. So there's lots of agent to agent conversations happening right now. And it made me reflect on my journey through real estate. And I'll just tell you what that's looked like so far. I got my license in 2013. And when you become licensed, you cannot be a real estate agent unless you work for a brokerage. So I was hired by Hallmark Realty, which is an independent brokerage here in Saskatoon. It was at the time. It was a well-known brokerage, had been around for a long time, and the model there made sense to me. It's the type of brokerage that I wanted to work with. My main reasons for going were, at that time, interestingly enough, they didn't take a commission split, and I just had to pay a fee, which, now that I'm older and wiser, wasn't probably the right way to go, but that's the way that I went. The broker was really good to me, though. He's a great guy, still is a great guy. He helped me understand a few things about real estate, but certainly I was a bit on my own, like most are in real estate. You have to learn a lot of things on your own. Anyway, so I started off with Hallmark, and then a little while later, Royal LePage bought Hallmark, and it became a franchise of Royal LePage Hallmark. Shortly after that, I moved over to Boys Group Realty, mostly because I didn't want to work for a franchise. I didn't want to have that type of feel. I liked the independent. So I went with Jordan Boyce when he opened Boys Group Realty. Had a good experience there as well. Was able to grow my company, grow my earnings under his umbrella, under his brokerage. But I really didn't get the support that I was looking for there either. And in fairness, for all of these brokerages so far, I'm not sure I knew what I was looking for. From there, I actually opened my own brokerage. That's when the Urban Farmhouse Realty Inc. came about. I wanted to have a brokerage that I could affect everything about it. I could control the brand, I could control the feeling, the customer experience, all of those things. I love the experience, and I certainly wouldn't say that it was a waste. I learned a lot having my own brokerage, but I also had a huge financial loss There's a previous episode. Actually, one of the TUF Unfiltered episodes is about my experience with my brokerage. But, again, I learned lots, but financially went backwards for sure. And then when I closed the brokerage, I came to eXp Realty. At that point, I was looking for something that would help me look to the future long term, something that would support me in creating a future that I could envision being fruitful and supporting me long term. So ultimately now I was switched about, because early in my career I was just worried about making money, trying to pay the bills, trying to, learn the industry and all of those things. And now I had switched to, how do I quote unquote retire? What does the end of my career look like? And this is where I think most agents fall down a little bit when it comes to becoming real estate agents. I would encourage any new agent to have that vision in mind a lot sooner than I did. Simply because how you grow your business and the decisions you make will be different if you have a bigger picture, longer term goal in mind than the just getting by, the making money, the trying to make lots of money. That's really what it was for me in the beginning of real estate. Now, in fairness, there was more to it. I love real estate and a lot of the things that I do, but that was one of the main drivers is, just trying to make a living and concentrating more on the day-to-day and getting kind of muddied in the waters of what that meant and the local markets and all the things here. Once I moved over to eXp Realty, I started to look bigger, wider. So I stopped worrying so much about the people, so my industry partners and my fellow agents in the local market. And I started looking to learn and be mentored by people outside Saskatoon, because I realized that I was looking really close-mindedly. I was playing it small, I guess would be a good way to put it. Where if I looked outside Saskatoon to see how people were doing it outside Saskatoon, so Toronto, Vancouver, in the States, Texas, New York, I would be able to glean new ways, kind of breathe new life into what I was doing. And not only in the industry, like not only in real estate, but I also started to look outside my industry for inspiration as an entrepreneur. So I started to look at different types of businesses, the brick and mortars, of course, but not necessarily real estate brick and mortars, like your storefront type locations, also online type locations, service models compared to sales models, just different types of businesses and different types of people to get inspiration on, how to maybe do things a little bit differently, to get some clarity on things that maybe do and don't work within my business. So looking outside that was really important. And then ultimately all those things come back to goals and what are my long-term goals, looking forward to the future. And how this kind of reels back or pulls back into selecting a brokerage is when we're real estate agents, are entrepreneurs. And I know there's many agents out there that don't look at it that way, but if you're going to become a top agent and retire out of this business, you need to treat your business like a business. You're an entrepreneur. You're not an employee. No one's telling you what to do and guiding you through the process. No one's paying you a monthly salary for the work that you do. You have to go find the work to earn it. You're an entrepreneur. So if agents would look at it that way from the beginning, that would be a great step. And if they did that, I believe the decisions they make when choosing a brokerage would be different. And this podcast isn't about the brick and mortar versus the non-brick and mortar. So the EXP and Reels versus the Royal LePage, Remax, Century 21, etc. That's not what this podcast is about. Because even within those brokerages, so those being the brick and mortars, there are good models for an entrepreneur. If somebody wants to be a top agent and wants to grow, you certainly can make that happen within that model. But my point is that you need to be looking at a company that will help you become the best entrepreneur that you can be and become a top agent. And what are the tools that you need to do that? All too often when people pick a brokerage, they need to be sold by the broker to pick that brokerage, meaning they need to feel like they're winning. I'm getting free signs and a month's free fees, or I'm getting a discount on my monthly fee, or I'm getting a better split. That's often how that game is played. But I believe that to be flawed, because now you're being sold on something instead of going for the something to build your business. What is it that you need instead of trying to win the game, trying to get the best deal? What is it that you need from your broker or from your company to create that success? Now, obviously, lower fees will certainly help all of those things, but there's so much more to it. How supportive will your broker be? How many resources are you getting from your company? So, what type of leadership is there? What type of education systems are there? What kind of support will you be gaining? How can they help you get ahead faster? And they may say a lot of the things that you want to hear, but I highly encourage you to speak with agents that work with the broker that you're looking to go to. So whatever brokerage you're looking to join, talk to agents that already work there and ask the hard questions. Because what could happen is you can join a brokerage and then learn that it isn't necessarily supplying you what you need. And it'll take time to learn that. 6 months, a year, it might be a year and a half before you realize, I'm not getting from this brokerage what I was hoping for. And by then, you've lost a year and a half of momentum. Now you select another brokerage, hopefully making better decisions the next time, which, in my career, I've been at, a few brokerages and I certainly got better each time. But of course, I can look back now and see the mistakes I made. And then you join a new brokerage and you build on it. And you have to figure out, is this the right brokerage? Are they going to be the ones that support me and grow my business the way that I envision it to grow? That's ultimately the big question. So my advice, especially to brand new agents or agents looking to move brokerages, my advice is stop worrying about the deal. What kind of deal signing package can you get? And focus on what can you get from this brokerage to grow your business. As real estate agents, we are incredibly lucky. We work in an industry where we can make as much money as we want, ultimately. We can scale and grow as much as we want to work. The more effort and hard work and due diligence and perseverance you put in, the more money you can make. It's not like a salaried employee where you have to wait for the company to do better and you can't, help the company do that much better to increase your income. That's not how it works. The more effort you put in, the more you put in general, mental space, physical space, all of the things, the more you put in, the more you'll get out. It's a huge blessing. And I am incredibly grateful to work in this industry. So look for the brokerage that will support you long term. It may not be the brokerage that gives you the best deal. Plain and simple. Stop worrying about free signs. Stop worrying about a set of business cards. Stop worrying about getting the first month broker fees free or a better split. You're thinking small and you're thinking not with an abundance mindset. Scarcity. All of that is a scarcity mindset. If you go into it looking for abundance, none of those things will matter. You can buy your own signs. You can get your own business cards. Heck, you can get free business cards from Staples if you sign up for an account. You can grow your business if you look to work with a brokerage that wants you to grow your business, that is wanting you to succeed. That's my advice. When you're hiring your brokerage, when you're moving to your new firm, whatever that looks like, go in with an abundance mindset and ditch the scarcity. That's it. Well, that concludes our episode. Thanks so much for being here. It really means a lot. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button or follow, as I'd love it if you came back week to week. And if you're looking for more information on me or my membership, check out tufinstitute.com or rhondalavoie.exprealty.com. You can find me on socials, on Instagram at rhondalavoie_tough or Facebook as my name, Rhonda Lavoie. Reach out anytime. I'd love to hear from you. I really hope you have a marvelous day. And I can't wait to bring you my next episode.